Hi, I'm Unique Model, aka Shantae Renee P for Positivity, and this is a channel for love and for healing. I want you to know that love begins with you, and it absolutely does. Be the love you want to see manifest in your life, and it will come. So, this is kind of like a Music is My Tarot, but it's actually a spirit-led, I'm hearing video. So, a couple of weeks ago, like it was March 26th, I got the song Stranger in My House by Tamia. So, after I got that song, I'm like, okay, so then I heard possibility of I thought possibility of a walk-in soul. So I have seen videos before about walk-in souls where, like if someone just basically checks out, they can't do it, but I guess the meat suit, I guess maybe it's almost finished, whatever they're supposed to finish their mission, they may have a soul come in. So I'm getting that it could happen through like an accident. So the person may be out of commission, and that's when the other walk-in soul, excuse me, takes over. So they gave me the song Stranger in My House by Tamia. So that's for various reasons. Because as I was thinking the possibility of walk-in, I got a vision from Meet Joe Black. So you remember in the coffee shop when, I don't remember the girl's name, but Brad Pitt was in the coffee shop, and then him and the girl they left out and they parted ways. But they were interacting prior to that. She didn't know, but he ended up getting hit by a bus. And that's when death actually came in. So his demeanor, he was a little different than what the initial interaction that she had with excuse me, with Brad Pitt. I don't know why my throat chakra trying to act up. I know sometimes that happens when messages they don't want put out. Excuse me. So, she was oblivious, but she was drawn to him because of their initial interaction, and she found him interesting. So, but during the interaction with death, as Brad Pitt, or Brad Pitt as death, I equated to the daughter of the man who death was there for. She actually went through her own spiritual awakening as this was happening. So hers happened slowly over time. And now I'm getting where someone had said that divine feminines actually go through their awakening slower, and then the divine masculines, it happens quick. So I don't know why I'm thinking that. Maybe that's a message for somebody else, and maybe you need to go watch the movie so maybe you can get some type of correlation with that. So let me see. So I wrote down a lot of notes. Okay. Yeah, I put down that he, at the end of the movie, when Brad Pitt came back, death had gone because the father had gone. And even though you didn't see him pass away, his daughter knew. She knew because somehow she was shown. And that's where I was getting the spiritual awakening part. So when Brad Pitt came back as the regular guy from the coffee shop, she figured out that he did not know anything had just transpired. So it's kind of like he was a walk-in, even though he was walking back in. But he was a walk-in, or we could say death was the walk-in, either or. So maybe that can happen. Maybe they interchange. I don't know. I don't know why I'm being told to give this message about walk-ins, because it is not something that I am very familiar with, but I'm just gonna go with it because the people say it, give the message. So it was drastic changes with death, and then with the actual person that Brad Pitt was playing initially, they were drastic changes and significant changes I'm also hearing. So the female was actually aware of it, kind of like, not the whole time, but majority of the time, she was actually aware of what was going on. So during this, the other part of the song that came to me is where she said, could the stranger be her? So that was another part. So this definitely has something to do with spiritual awakenings as well. Could she be the stranger? Because when you go through a spiritual awakening, you are being stripped of basically everything you know. I'm hearing from the rooter to the tutor. So I believe that's a saying. So you are being stripped because they want all of the layers that has been placed upon you, whether it be generational, whether it be your childhood, whether it be your current home life, whether it's what society placed on you. They want you stripped. I'm hearing bare naked. And we come in to be our most authentic selves, but we come in and we sign up for all of this trauma all of this trauma, and then we have the joy, or not so joy, of taking it off. I'm gonna take this off, leave it. And you just got some people, they have luggage and they have the bags with them, but sometimes people have a trail of things that they have left behind them, because a lot of the things that we are incarnated to, and then we get to a certain point, unless you were blessed with parents that were awake and you grew up in that type of environment, yeah, you have a lot of baggage that you have to shed. And shed. And then I'm getting a shred also, because I'm getting a paper shredder, that you have to shred and shed to, I'm also hearing, become lighter. Become lighter, because we are beings of light, so that you're not carrying that, because as long as you have all that baggage, you cannot increase your frequency. You cannot raise your vibration and actually maintain it. You may be able to do it in short spurts, but you cannot raise your vibration. So when Tamia said, is she the stranger? She's looking at herself and she looks different. Because that's actually what happens when you're going through a spiritual awakening. I don't know if I could link anything from my previous videos when I started the first channel in 2020. I look like a different person. It's like almost like I'm aging backwards, and I noticed that. And I've had a lot of people actually tell me that, but I've shed a lot, and I've come into the knowing of who I am and what I'm here to do. So the more that I'm walking down my path towards my destiny, where I'm supposed to be, the plus is I actually started to look younger, because I'll be 48 in a couple of months. So yes, I am grateful for that. So that is one perk. One perk of shedding the baggage, as we should say. You become lighter. You're not as bogged down. You're not heavy with burdens, because for one, most of the burdens are not yours. They're not yours to carry. And as light workers, empaths, healers, we tend to just, I'm getting like somebody scooping mashed potatoes onto a plate. So yeah, you just keep piling up the mess, because mashed potatoes kind of just looks like slop. Slop on a plate. So yes, they keep piling it up, and you walking around with this stuff, walking around with stuff that's not yours. So cleansing your energy is very, very important. I think I talked about that on the last video that I've done. But cleansing your energy is very, very important along this journey. So something about a walk-in. So that may be, because I'm not going into in depth about that, because I don't have that much knowledge about it, where I feel okay to like, okay, this, that, and that. I can just tell you what I think. And the correlation where with the movie Meet Joe Black, where Death was the walk-in for Brad Pitt initial character when he first started the show, and then he came back, the other guy came back later. So, and then the female that he was interacting with, she ended up having a spiritual awakening and was aware of everything towards the end. So even though she didn't know, she didn't see her father pass away, she knew that her father passed away. It's just like, that's a clear cognizant thing. It's like she just knew. I think she was shown prior to, but she just knew. So as you go along that journey, you know that that's a long ass movie. That movie is long. So, you know, just hypothetically, you know, is our journeys are longer than 3 hours, but she was on a journey, and the more she walked, the more she found out. And towards the end, the gifts were just there. So this is something about gifts. So someone may be having gifts that are opening up, and you also could be around someone who may have had maybe something detrimental, some type of health issue, maybe a stroke, or and I'm not a doctor, so I mean, I'm not saying anything, but you know, people do change personality wise when they have sometimes some type of medical issue. So just something to think about. I'm just putting it out there in the ethers. So walk-ins, spiritual awakenings, those are some things that you may want to delve into. And then you can listen closer to Timia's song, Stranger in My House. And that used to be one of my favorite songs. If you listen to the words and then you put the movie together with it, it may be something, you know, like, maybe a light to go off. So that is all I have for this message. Sending you love and healing. I appreciate you. Make sure you appreciate yourself. And remember, happiness is homemade. Feed yourself some good shit. Mind, body, and spirit. Have a wonderful day. Bye.